Today you are going to be creating a landscape painting, and you're going to start with making a horizon line. That is the line that separates the sky from the ground or the sea. Make sure your paper is horizontal Henry, so it's long across, and you'll start by drawing your horizon line with a paint marker all the way across. This can be a straight line or a bumpy line, it is up to you. Everything below this line is going to be the ground. So if you want to show that there is grass on the ground, you can repeat your horizon line, or you can draw blades of grass. I'm just kind of redrawing the same line over and over with my different shades of green for the ground. After I have filled in below the horizon line, we'll put our paint markers away, and next we get to use watercolor paints. Watercolor paints are great because you can use lots of water to spread them out, and you only need a little bit of paint. We start by waking the paint up and keeping our paintbrush on its tippy toes to swirl into it. One thing that you can do with watercolors is something called wet on wet, where you get your paper wet first and then you add color over top of it. That helps the color spread quickly so that you can fill the space of your sky color really quickly. We know that a sky color can be any color we want. So I'm getting part of my paper wet, then adding color and filling the whole part of my paper above my horizon line to start to make my sky colors. We will have so much fun mixing in different colors, and notice that when your paper is nice and wet, the colors will kind of fade and blend into each other. You can make lines and dots of color, and they're going to spread and look so beautiful in your sky. You can also use paint to finish filling in the ground, everything below your horizon line as well. Now let's get started making your painting. We'll start with our horizon line, and you get to decide if below your horizon line is the ground or the sea. So you'll be choosing a color to make your horizon line and everything below it for the ground or the sea with paint markers. Start by writing your name and class code on the back of your paper. Choose your horizon line color and make sure that your paper is horizontal Henry. Draw that line from one side all the way to the other side. Our next fun step is to use a white oil pastel to draw clouds in the sky. Make sure you push really hard and fill them in. I know you can't see them right now, but when we paint over them, you'll still get to see the white of the cloud that you drew. Check it out. The white oil pastel will resist the paint and you'll get to see it. After you've made some clouds, then you can add things below your horizon line. So if you're going to have water below your horizon line, you might draw some waves. I'm using light blue, dark blue, and a little bit of purple when I do this. You could even use the white oil pastel to make it look like your waves are crashing if you want to have a little bit of white resist below. Remember, you can also make below your horizon line the ground and make it grass or something else. Now we get to use watercolors to create our sky colors. So everything above our horizon line is going to be painted with watercolors. Start by adding water only to the top part of your paper. This will help the watercolor paint spread. I go in little sections and add water. Then I use my paintbrush on its tippy toes to start to add in the sky color. Notice the more times I swirl into my paint, the brighter and more vibrant my orange starts to get. Remember, you can use any colors you want, but I recommend getting the paper wet with water first, then swirling into your color 10 times, keeping your paintbrush on its tippy toes. Now that I've done my main color, I'm going to start to swirl into other colors. Because my paint is still wet, they're going to mix and blend into each other and look really cool. Think about sky colors that you have used before when you're adding color to the top part of your painting. The whole top part of your painting should be filled in with watercolor paint, making sure we're always keeping our paintbrush on its tippy toes. touching into our water and then our paint. One last super cool thing that you can do with watercolor paints is if you get your paintbrush wet, you touch into the color that you want and then you hold it close to your paper and tap your paintbrush with 2 fingers, you can do a little bit of splatter painting to create a super duper awesome sky. If you finish with your sky color and you have a little bit of extra time, you are welcome to add more color below your horizon line by painting in the ground or the sea. I'm just going to use a couple of different shades of blue. It still works best to get the paper wet first and then let those colors blend and mix into each other. Notice where I put the white oil pastel, my paper is going to stay white. I'm still keeping my paintbrush on its tippy toes and working on filling in all the white spaces below my horizon line now.